everyone, I have actually got two lovely books to show you, both Morgan O'Brien, and then we're going to do a bit of colouring from this one. This actually isn't a colouring book. This was sent to me by Tanya, and it's a really pretty notebook, and it's obviously got the Matchstick Mouse on the front, if you're familiar of course with Morgan O'Brien's books. This is an image taken from one of his books, but I'm actually not sure which one. I think it might be the summer book. There are other ones with different pictures on the front. I can't remember. I think there might be one with a shell, but you get them on Amazon and they are printed by Amazon. But it's got 120 pages and it's ruled paper, so you can see it's a lot thicker than I thought it would be when I put it on my wish list. And it's got Matchstick Mouse on the bottom, but for me notebooks are always really helpful, and I use a lot of them, so I thought this would be good. So yes, it says 6 by 9 inches or 15 by 22 centimetres. Now this is a UK printed in the UK by Amazon. Not sure whether the US, if you got it from there, whether it would be the same size, because we have sort of different size books really, don't we? So we'll see, but that's that one. So that is a really lovely book. So just wanted to show you and say thank you to Tanya for that one. And this one, let's tip it up so the light's not shining on it. This one was sent to me by Gia, and it's the new springtime book. This has been out for a few weeks, I think now. You may have already seen a flip through. I'm just going to disappear and come back. 1 minute. Right, sorry about that. I had to go and sort the dryer was beeping. I'm not sure if you heard it. So this book is the same size as Morgan O'Brien's usual books. Again, as always, I don't have a ruler. I'll show you it. This is Johanna Basford's planner. You can see it's a little bit bigger. It's a sort of mini-ish book, which is quite nice. Let me look on the back. I've got a green picture of Matchstick Mouse with her French bread, which she's got on the front here. So let's have a little look inside. Now the book always has a book belongs to page like that, and whoops, and then we have our sort of intro page and our copyright sort of info there, and Morgan O'Brien's website. I've never been to Morgan O'Brien's website. I really should. I do follow him on Instagram, but anyway, let's have a look. Let's come in a bit closer so you can see the pictures a little bit closer up. Let's have a look. Oh, I saw this one on his website the other day, I think. So we have, or maybe someone else had coloured it. We have cute hedgehog waking up. Very sweet. And, oh, duckling. That's so Eastery, I think. Little duckling. Look how cute. Really pretty. This is the one from the front, look, with the pink sky and things. It's very pretty. I might colour that one. I'm quite tempted to try and emulate the colours from the front and show you how I do it, which could be fun. So we've got that one. Here is our pretty bunch of flowers with a little envelope with a heart. It's quite Valentine's-y, isn't it? But it's still springtime, which isn't really Valentine's, isn't it? It's really winter, isn't it? Oh, look at these little chubby birds. They remind me of birds in... I used to have a book with some birds that look like that in it when I was little. I can't... Chirpy the little bird? Maybe? They were blue. I might do them blue. Oh, hot cross buns. Again, a sort of Eastery reference, which is quite fun. I might save that one to do sort of Easter time. If you don't know what hot cross buns are, then you're missing a trick. They are amazing. So it's like a yeasted bread type thing, but sweet, and got lots of dried fruit and cinnamon in normally, although they do other flavours these days, but that's the traditional way. Oh, she's doing a spring cleaning, look. So what's that? A lemon. Maybe people do use lemons for cleaning, don't they? Oh, now what's that? Did you say hamster? I'm thinking. Not really sure. What's this? It's not a hedgehog. It's very cute. Oh, we have frog. This one I've seen coloured on Morgan O'Brien's website. What I'm going to try and do is have a look at where he's coloured pages and try and copy them, because I really like the way he does them, like on the front of this book that we're looking at. I really like them, although he always colours Matchstick Mouse the same way, which is fine, but I like to sometimes colour her differently. So instead of brown, do her grey, change her hat colour up a bit, that sort of thing. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. So cute. I'm trying to identify what that animal is though. I've got no idea. Don't know. It's very cute. Oh, she's doing a handstand. Could you imagine doing a handstand on one hand? One of my boys was showing me a gymnast doing this, and they were on the pommel horse, I think, and they twisted their whole body round on the horse on one hand. So, how on earth? I've never even now been able to do a handstand. I have done a headstand, but I do need a wall. I haven't done it lately. Oh, look at the bunnies. They are so cute. Another sort of Eastery type picture, I think. Really sweet, and they're all asleep. Oh, now where do we think we're going? I guess we're gardening. We've got our spoon carrying, and we've got cart. I'm assuming that's sort of soil and seeds, ready to do some sort of planting, I'm guessing. Oh, this is a nice relaxed picture, look. Lovely cushions, beetles asleep. We're inside, it's dark. Although worms outside in the tree, which is interesting. Oh, a little cow. So cute, or calf really, I guess. Very sweet. Really sweet picture. Lovely meadow, nice pine trees to cover. It's lovely. Oh, it's raining. It rains a lot in the spring in the UK. I mean, Morgan O'Brien's in Ireland. I suspect weather is very similar. I got a snail. Oh, now we're in a tree. Lots of blossoms. I was just wondering whether she was gathering something in her bag, but I don't think so. It's just blossoms. Really cute. Oh, and look at their sweet hat. When my children were in primary, they always used to have it in the Easter hat parade. Only the younger ones would take part as they got older. It's very cute. Oh, tortoise. No, they're giving him some apples and things. I was watching a video, was it just the other day? My cousin had popped up on Facebook, and it was this tortoise. And he was really old. He wasn't really old. The girl who'd got him had had him for like 20 years, and he was going to live really long time, and showed her feeding him apples and things like that. It was a very sweet video. Now, I know that Morgan O'Brien said that this was a tribute to Totoro. Totoro? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the character, so I had no idea why. I assume the fact that they're standing here by this sign might be something to do with it, or the rain and stuff. I don't know. If anyone knows, I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments, because I assume it's all to do with the Animal Crossing, I think, but I've never played. I don't know. I'm ignorant. Oh, we have another Easter page. Look at it's the Easter egg hunt. Oh, that's so cute. No, there's one. Do you think that's one in there? There's one there. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there. Oh, there's one up there. Have I spoilt it? Sorry, got overexcited. It's fun. Oh, it's one of those little birds again. They're so cute. I think I'm going to have to do blue. Blue and white, dark blue and white maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Now, what's she doing? She's digging. What's this? What's going on in here? What are these? Potatoes? Do you think she's planting potatoes? That's what I'm guessing. I don't know why. Unless she might be digging them up, not putting them in. But you'd plant them in the spring, wouldn't you? I have no idea. So we're in a tin can, look, sheltering from the rain. That's quite cute. And there's a bottle top. This is quite fun, because you could do it sort of rusty, or with a sort of design on it with your favourite, whatever you have in tins. Don't know. Sounds a bit hard to me. I might just do it silver. Oh, a little lamb. That's so cute. The problem is that lambs are white, So I'm not sure how I would tackle that, but you might just do a like yellow Larry the Lamb or something like that. Showing my age. I never watched it much. I was far too young. And here we have it. It looks like cherry blossom, doesn't it? Really pretty. Oh, and we're riding on the bird. Where are we going? We're off running somewhere, having a whale of a time. This one. Oh, a cup of tea. Lovely. I had a nice cup of tea this morning. I don't drink black tea. It was a cup of black tea with some oat milk. I don't drink it that often. I've got carrot cake, but I had a lovely one. I don't always have oat milk open, so I don't have it. Oh, we have some sort of parade. Is it ticker tape parade? Is that? I don't know. Look at his hat. It's got a hat too. And who is this? Interesting. Oh, painting pots. My aunt does that. Such fun. It looks such fun. If you can paint. I can't paint. Oh, a map. Where are we going? Some sort of adventure. Little hat. Oh, now what are we doing? We are meditating with that hat on. Is this the sea behind? I'm thinking that might... No, there's trees though. I might colour that as water. Like maybe it's a river. Not sure. Looks lovely. Oh. So we're making a sort of mobile with shells. That's pretty. Oh, I see. Are we back in France with our bread? Sharing our bread. Sitting on a wall, it looks like, but yeah. It just looks like water because her tails disappears. So that's fun. And these look like willows, don't they? Oh, sorry, you can't see. I'm terrible, aren't I? Oh, we're back to painting an Easter egg. And we've got bits of paper or something, so maybe that's the nest. Paper mache or something, maybe. I don't know. Looks like fun. Oh, and that's the end. We end at Easter. So let's turn back to the page that I said I was going to do now. It's going to be a lot of flipping back and forth to check out what the colours are on the front. I'm wondering whether I should get a tablet with the picture on it so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth all the time. I'm not sure. I could photocopy the picture so I could see it more easily. I don't know. Anyway, I've got my Arteza Expert pencils. I thought that they would be quite good for this paper. In fact, I find that quite a few different pencils work fine on this paper. So I've just put some paper behind the page to protect it. Let's just get going. I've written number 36 on that piece of paper and I can't remember why. I'm sure it was really important. Actually, I'm going to need a pen to do this. So I'm going to disappear off for a minute again. Let's put a bookmark in there. And I'll photocopy that picture and I'll get some pens and then I'll be back. Right, I am back. I couldn't photocopy the page because my son is doing a live stream and the copier, if I printed it out, it would be really noisy. So I just took a photo of it and it's on my tablet. So I can see it there, hopefully. It will be okay. So the sky, I'll show you. The sky is very pink and then leads to yellow. So that's what we're going to do first. I could leave that there, but no, it's going to catch the light. So I'm going to start with my darkest pink. Doesn't want to be too dark though. I think I'll use this one. I think I mentioned I'm using Arteza Expert. I was just thinking about the pinks and they would have the right pink. This is the flamingo pink. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to go for it. Now our tower here, which is the Eiffel Tower, is covered over the black lines. There's some pen and there's some these colours. Now I can't draw that in with pencil very well, so what I'm going to do is just colour right over it and then use some pens at the end to do that. So we'll just do our sky. Now it sort of fades off. This bit is dark here, then it sort of fades down, so I'm going to reduce it there. I shouldn't have coloured over the cloud, but I'm not going to worry about it. And then over here it is a bit lighter, like that. Now try to sort of graduate the colour a little bit. Now let's have a little look. Just looking at Beetle. Beetle's got the tiniest bit of pink on his wing, but we'll not use this pink, we'll use a slightly different shade. We're going to go for a lighter shade of pink. Oops, now. I'm going to grab the peony pink, it's a bit lighter, and just sort of blend that in here, and then use it down here. Trying to make sure that I get it in all the places it should be. Now with Sky I tend to do a horizontal colouring, just because, I'm just looking carefully at how it is around there, because it looks a bit more natural for Sky. I'm fading it down quite a lot now because we get yellow coming up from the bottom. Yeah, so it would be, if it was raining, you could do it downwards into the sky, because that up and down that way, because that would make sense for rain, but it isn't raining. So I think it makes more sense to do it this way. And then if you can see any of the lines, it just looks fine. It just looks like it might be a pattern from the sun or whatever it might be. Oops, moving the page all over the place. So fading it down here as well. Little bit down here. Whoops, it gets really light down here like that. Really, really light. Now at the bottom, see we've got yellow, but it's quite an ochre. It's quite dark on my screen. It's quite an ochre colour. So I'm thinking I might use, that's brown, the yellow ochre. Let's use the yellow ochre. I'll just put my pencils over there out of my way. So it's quite thick at the bottom and then it sort of fades up. So it's the opposite to the pink really. I'll just give it a sharpen. There we go. Now in the on the cover, these lines which are black have been put in white. But I'll get my pens out at the end and we'll do bits and pieces with that. I'm just trying to see what's happening under our Eiffel Tower. So we've got a bit of yellow up to there, and here we've got a bit of yellow in there. Got a little bit of yellow around there, like that, and then under here we've got a tad, and then it just sort of fades up from here. So I'm just going to use a light touch and sort of fade it up. Now you don't have to do it exactly as Morgan O'Brien has done it. I try to copy it sort of as well as I can, but don't get too worried because he's done it digitally on his iPad, and I am doing it with a pencil. It's never going to look sort of identical, but it can look reasonably similar. I'm just going to erase that pink off that cloud because it shouldn't be there. If it remains, I'm not going to panic too much. It's not coming off with that. Hang on, I've got a different eraser here, which I think might be more effective on this slightly more toothy paper. Yeah. Okay, and the bottom of the clouds, if you have a look, oops, my pencil's running away, there's a little line and it's in a sort of beige colour. Don't have a colour like that at all. So I'm going to have to either not do it or improvise. I'm going to do it in grey, but first of all, this black outline is actually white in our No, the black outline is actually in that grey beigey colour, which I'm thinking I might substitute it for blue, and then I can go over it with this Posca. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it now while I think about it. So I won't run my hands through it because it's so high up. Sorry, I shouldn't turn my book like that. It's just my natural instinct is to turn my book. So the clouds are going to look different to how they do on the cover, just because if you've got like a beige paint pen or gel pen, you could do it. But I don't, so I'm just improvising. And I think this looks okay for a cloud colour anyway. So I'm trying to cover all the black, and if my line ends up thicker than the black line, I don't mind. I just think the idea of this is to try and soften it a bit, get rid of that harsh black, just because that's what he's done in his version. So there's the one. Oh, my tablet switched itself off. I was just going to check. Yeah, it's the bottom is quite thick. I'm just going to put a bit more. So the pen doesn't want to work. There we go. There we go. And we'll do the same on this one. And the cloud itself is white, so you have to colour that bit. You can if you want. You can change the colours up if you want to. I'm just going to give this pen a shake. Thing with the Poscas, sometimes need a bit of a wake up. There we go. And sometimes you need to pump them on a scrap piece of paper to get them going as well, which I might do in a minute if it can. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh, my wobbly desk over there. I need to fix that. I still haven't fixed it. Last time it went all wobbly, I put a little bit of paper in this, where the top of the desk hits the top of the leg. There was a gap. So I put a bit of paper in there and it worked, but I expect it's either fallen out or gone a bit flat after all this time. So I need to do it again. Anyway. So I didn't do yoga today. I tried something different. My app that I use, which is the Deliciously Ella app, she had some Pilates for backs, and I thought, oh, I often have a bit of a back, you know how it is, and so I thought I would have a go, and actually it was rather good. And by the way, I didn't tell you the colour of this Posca. It is the Glacier Blue. Okay, so there's that bit. Now let's do Little Bug, and looking carefully at Bug, it's hard for you to see. The white wing has got a tiny bit of pink on it, and then the grapes are sort of a bit pink and white. Sorry, I was tipping it at the wrong angle for you. So I'm going to use the peony pink that we used already to start with. So on the wing, just a little bit of pink in there. Okay, it's actually a bit lighter than that in the picture, but I just wanted to show up. And then the grapes, some of them have got a bit of pink like that, and a white bit is left at the top. I'm just trying to do them as they are in the picture, not that it's vital, but and that one like that. And then the others are a little bit darker, more of a purpley pink. I think I'll try this. No, I think this one isn't. Probably do. This is the eggplant purple. I think I used that one for the others. Again, leave the little bit of white. If you don't leave the white, you don't need to panic. You can just use your white pen. But I just think I might as well leave the white, and then I don't have to do it. And then we've got a bit of green, and it's quite a pale green. And I'm just going to use this green. This is the pear green. I can't show you because I've sharpened it off. But again, a little bit of white on the edge. There we are, and that is him done. He's white, apart from that. Okay, so now we need to think about her, should we do her hat? Now her hat, if I show you, it's orange. Oh, sorry, my camera takes a minute to adjust. It's orange. So and it's darker at the bottom than coming up. So we get a darker orange to start with. Now, don't really have, we have the blood orange, which is really quite extreme, but I think that'll be okay. And that's here. Okay. I'm going to fade it a bit. Now, in the picture, it's not faded. It's sort of, if you look, you can see you've got quite a defined edge between the darker bit and the lighter bit, but I prefer to do a bit of a fade, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make this bit quite dark, but I'm going to fade it here like that, and then I'm going to grab a lighter orange. We use the orange. This is called orange. It's quite a lot lighter, but it's the next one down anyway, sort of colour wise. And we use that quite thickly there as we try and transition between colours. And then as we come up here, it gets quite a lot lighter. So I'm going to do a lighter layer towards the edge of the hat, like that. Now, underside of the hat here, where it's in the shade, that is really dark. It's like a brown. We have got a sienna brown, which I think I'm going to use for that. I know I haven't finished the hat. I'm sort of jumping around a little bit, but I just noticed that bit. So I'm going to use that, and it's actually just one thick dark piece. So it's really easy. I'm just going to really just layer it up and work it in. And there we go. Now for the rest of the hat, we're going to want a slightly lighter colour, sort of orangey yellow, and I think the Tuscan Sun is quite a good candidate. But all the way along the edge of the hat there is a white mark, a white line. Now again, as I said, you can draw that in with pen, but I'm going to just try and leave a white line so that I don't have to come back in with my pen. Now the reason that I'm a bit scared of coming back in with a pen is because I'm not sure which ones of these Arteza experts will bleed into the white. So if I leave it white, then I don't have to worry about that. There we go. So there's our hat. Now her ears are very pink, but they're slightly more of an orangey pink. Let's that adjust to the light. It's not going to. They're a bit more of an orangey pink to the sky. Hopefully you can see that. Now we have a sort of apricot-y colour, which I think is what I'm going to use. It isn't really pink, but we'll start with this and then we'll add a pink with it. I think that's the easiest way. And her tail and hands and things are all the same colour, and her nose. So I'm just going to work through all of these. I'll leave a bit of white on the nose. Her hands are fully coloured, just checking, and her thumb, and her feet. There's a few white, there's a little bit of white just there, and this one has a bit just in a few areas, and just go all the way to the back, yes, all the way to there. And the tail, yeah, the tail has a couple of colours in it, and white all the way along the top. So I'm going to just use this one first, and we'll pop a darker colour on in a minute to darken up those areas that need a little bit of dark. There we are, so we can leave that white. And I'm thinking, what should we do to darken? We've got, actually that's a bit darker. This is the, oops, marmalade orange. A little bit darker, we use this. So use it firstly on the bottom of the tail. Hopefully you can see that that's making a difference. I can see it's not massively obvious. A bit in here. Really, this is the main place where it was. There we go, maybe a little bit on the nose. There we go. Okay, so that's her. I'm just checking. Yeah. Now, Worm is a really similar colour, but I've got this sort of peaches and cream colour which I think I'm going to use for Worm. Now, Worm has got a white bit along the top of the head. I need to do that, but this bit's all quite solid, and then starting around there like that, we have a white bit left like that. And the bottom is a little bit darker as well of Worm. Worm almost looks a bit pinky, so I'm going to use this flamingo pink that we use for the sky. I'm just very carefully going to add in a little bit just at the bottom like that. Try and blend it in by using a sort of round and round movement. If it hasn't blended that well, get your peaches and cream back on top of it again. I'm just going to do Worm's hat while we're at it. I'm trying to work out what colour it is. Oh, my tablet's just turned the picture around. Let's have a look. I think Worm's hat is the same colour as the inside of Mouse's hat, the sienna brown, and it is just a very solid colour. So I'm just going to fill it all in. There we go. Now, let's have a go at Mouse. Now, Mouse's plainer parts of her body, they're done in quite a yellowy brown, so I usually grab something like this. This is the camel brown. So we'll do this bit. I like to use a little circular movement just to try and add so we can see some of the texture of the paper through, and I think that helps to make her look like she's got short fur in this part. Now she has a white nose there. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out how far down this goes to there, like that. And she's got this colour on her belly too. Yeah, all of her belly in this slightly lighter colour. Yeah. Now actually, I'm going to do all of her in this colour, and you'll see why. Because she's sort of got furry bits. Oh, I should have left a white bit there. Never mind. And we can draw those furry bits on in a darker one and with this lighter colour in the background, and it sort of works. So colour her all in. Now the darker brown, my tablet's decided to go to sleep, I think isn't like a really chocolatey brown. I'm going to use the cinnamon. I think she's more of a reddish brown. And what we can do is sort of colour her in bits of stripes so we can see the old bit of that lighter colour underneath. Like that. And her ear, we leave a white bit there. And this ear, we leave a white bit on the edge. It's not white because I coloured it, but I think it'll be okay. And I should have left a white bit on her nose, which I didn't do, so I'm going to have to go in there with a white pen. We'll see if it works. Oh, I haven't done her arm. Let's do this bit first. I'm just trying to imitate her fur a little bit. Oh yeah, we mustn't do her belly, because that stays pale. There we go. Let me just check. Ah, that bit under the bag, that's quite dark. I think that's supposed to be like that. And this bit as well. Like that. Yeah, let's get out the white, a white Posca, and just do there. And I hope that we don't get any bleed through. And actually that bit wasn't fully white. And was that bit? There we go. So we put those bits in. And we haven't done this arm. So we go back to this camel brown, just put a bit in there. And then this cinnamon There she is. Now we've got her bag. Now this on her bag here, that looks like a piece of cheese, has been coloured in yellow. The sort of same colour yellow is the bit of the sky, so I'm going to use the yellow ochre, and the circles have been ignored but a white bit's been left at the top, so that's what I'm going to do, like that. Now her bag is a sort of a lime green colour. I do have a lime green, I'm not sure it's the right colour, but I'm going to use it anyway. Excuse me. So lime green. Oh, it's a bit pale, isn't it? But anyway, we'll persevere with this and then we'll add another colour on it to darken it up. I'm trying to leave the white bits that are shown in the picture, like at the top of there. And it goes all the way down to here. That is quite pale. Some of it is pale in the picture, so I'm going to grab the absinthe green and just darken up some of it. So absinthe green, I'm just going to use the picture as a reference for me. So down here there's a bit of shadow. And in there I think. Definitely in here, quite dark there. A little bit darker up there. And then maybe a bit, there's a dark bit there. There we go. Now this absinthe green I think looks quite similar to the colour. You can't see down here for the trees, it's really dark. So I'm going to use that down here while I've got it in my hand. Now some of these trees have white bits. Oh, come on computer. It decides to switch itself off. So there's that one. And then we have this one. And this one. Just a bit of white on the edge of it. This one doesn't have the white. I find it quite fun doing this because you don't have to think of your own colours. So if you're not in the mood for sort of picking and choosing colours, it can be ideal. Okay, now we've got green on the broom. Again, it's really dark. I can't make it so that you can see it very well. Trying to show a screen on a screen, it's probably a really bad idea. It might even be flickering. So we've got a green here, but it's a little bit darker, so I'm going to use the mint green. And we've again got white lines at the top of each bit. So I'm going to leave those bits white. Just double checking what I'm doing. And then the rest of it, colour it in. There we go. There are a few darker bits in the trees, and I'm going to use this darker mint green just to put them in a little bit. It's quite rough, and I think that's quite fun. There we go. Now we've got some darker bits in this green too, so we need to use a darker green. I'm going to use the moss green, and it's sort of along these lines really, like that. That's it, really simple. Now these ones here are quite pale brown, so I think I'm going to use the burnt ochre. So it's a little bit different to what we've used for mouse, and all of them seem to be quite similar. Yeah, they're not actually quite that red, but this one is quite red. So I'm going to grab my sienna brown for the bottom one and just colour it in. It gets quite dark, this one. I'll put some darker bits in a minute. I'll just grab this chocolate brown and do this sort of shadowy bits under there. There we go. Now around here we have a little bit of twine, and this is actually quite a reddish brown, so I'm going to use my sienna brown again for these. And there, yeah, just draw it in like that. Is there white? No, it's not white, it just goes pale at the top. So there are those. Now this end is red because this is a matchstick. Remember, she's Matchstick Mouse. So I'm going to grab the rose red. It might be a bit pink, but we'll see. And it's a bit darker at the bottom than the top. Is there a white bit? Yeah, there's a little white bit on the front there. There we go. So there's the matchstick end. And the actual matchstick is quite yellowy, so it's a bit darker than the sun though, so I'm going to use the camel brown again, which is actually the same colour as her. I know, let's use a different colour. Let's use the honey. It's probably too yellow really, but I want it to be, you to be able to tell the difference between her and the sun and the matchstick. So use this as a line at the top, and the very bottom is a little bit darker. Just going to use the camel brown just to do the very bottom. There's a little shadow line underneath there. These black lines, there we go. Now we have this bagel bread. It's not really a bagel, is it? It's quite yellow, so I'm going to use my yellow ochre to start with. There's a white line all the way along the top, like that. Just do that bit too. And then the centre of it is quite a reddish brownish colour, so I'm going to use my sienna brown, and it doesn't really look how I would expect it to look. There's just a sort of splodge across here. The sienna is actually the colour we used for Matchstick Mouse. This is a little bit redder, so I'm actually going to grab this rose red, it's a bit daring this, and pop a bit on top just to make it a bit redder. It looks more like the picture, and it looks a bit less like Mouse's fur. Okay, now we have our blossom here is a lot of pink. It's a very similar pink to up here, but some of it's a little bit darker. So I'm going to actually use my flamingo pink for the blossom, and what has happened with the blossom is that there's a purple outline on some bits. I'm going to use a Posca pen for that. I have a purple pen because it's on top of these black bits. So, and there's also some white. I think that might have been supposed to be yellow. Never mind, there's also some white dots as well, which we can use a pen for in a bit. So I'm just going to put that in, and there's a bit of pink in that, a bit of green in that one, like that. Here there's a little bit of tuft of green. I'm going to use the absinthe green just for the top of there. There we go. Okay, so now we have got this sort of brick work, and this bit here is all done in greys. So I'm just going to grab a grey. This is our cloudy grey. And just go all over. I'm just trying to work out exactly which bits are grey. All over here and across to there. And under the bridge is quite dark. I'm going to layer it up a little bit more. and a little bit under here. This bit is darker and this bit is darker in there and a little bit there. And then we've got a few bricks drawn in on this one, like that, and one on there. Okay, that's that. Just seeing if this bit's grey, but it's not. We've got a real mix of colours coming up in our sort of water and boat. We need quite a light pink for here. I'm going to use the peony pink because our boat is actually pink here and here, and our water is pink here and there, like it's sort of reflecting the boat, I think. Now, the bottom of the boat is a really, really pale minty green. So we've got a mint green here, but it's quite dark. So I'm going to have to use it very sparingly and lightly to try and get that pale minty green colour, which is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, that's about it. I've got a little bit there. And then we've got a bit of blue in these here. Quite a greyish blue. I'm going to use this one, which I need to sharpen, bear with me. Oops. This is the periwinkle blue. And basically it is in every square here with a little bit left, a little bit of white on each end. I think that's because there's supposed to be windows. And there's some blue in our water. Surprisingly, that's it. No more blue in the water. The rest of the water is yellow. But it's quite a bright yellow, so I'm actually going to grab a fresh yellow. It is more like this lemon yellow. Like that. There's a few bits of white in the water. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them to show up on this pale colour. But that is that. I think it's reflecting the sky, you see. Right, our Eiffel Tower is really my next bit. Now, it's got quite a lot of brown in it, and I'm thinking whether to try and just pop that brown in pencil. I think I might. I'm going to use this, the burnt ochre. I think this is the closest one. So many pencils in my way. And I'm just going to try and colour it really lightly in brown. And then we'll get some pens in there and sort of finish it off. We can see the sky all through that bit anyway. But I think that might just help us. Okay, so our Eiffel Tower, the main part of the building, which is in this black, it doesn't look quite that bright. But I don't have a really pale colour. I have this sort of apricot-y colour, but it's still, I don't think, quite right. I'm thinking I might do it in gold. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over the top of all of them. Now I'm going to shake it first. Sort of go over the top of the black in gold, but maybe leave some of this black showing so that it sort of stands out a bit more. So you can see I'm sort of leaving little bits of black. I'm almost sort of purposely not quite lining my pen up with the black. So there's a bit there, but it just sort of tones it down a little bit. And the gold's going to make it look quite special, although obviously it isn't gold. bit. It's if you've got like a dark brown or something, it'll probably work better. But I'm quite happy with how this is coming off. Just checking, yeah. I'm going to have to start being careful because I'm going to be adding a fair bit of pen and I don't want to smudge it. I'm so not used to using pen that smudging it is my party trick. Okay, so there's our tower. Now what we could do, I'm going to add a bit of this apricot as well, sort of just inside some of the areas. Just to make it look a little bit darker, it'll stand out a bit more. Like that. Yeah, put a bit here. That'll do. Apart from, yeah, down here, we didn't do down here, did we? Put a bit in there and get our gold. Just use that bit. There we go. Now we need our purple for our, I've got a dark purple, but I think I'm going to use this lavender, and it's sort of on the tops of these trees. Is it going to show up? No, it's not really going to obscure that black, it's because it's a bit watery. There we go. So basically it's on the tops of some of these is lavender rather than black. It's still a bit see-through. Not really, that's better. And we've sort of got a few dots here and there. I've got a bit of a splodge on my few dots here and about. And a little bit in there, that one, and a few dots just around and about, and over here as well. Now that one is too. There we go, and then we're going to get out our white and do a few white bits, and then we'll pretty much be done. Now these bits are white, and I'm going to leave them because I don't think they're going to show up if I do them in white. Got some white bits here. Basically a few dots here and there. A few bits here as well. Over here, these bits again are in white. I'm going to put like a bit of white on them, but if I totally cover them in white they'll just vanish. That's very white. I need to work out what that is in a minute. And the water, some of the water has got bits of white in. I don't think it's going to show up very well in there. What's that bit there? That bit there is a bit pink. So I'm going to use my peony pink just at the end here just to do that bit. It looks a bit pink. Okay, I think we finished. So there is our mouse and there is our cover. So it's similar-ish and it was a lot of fun. So I hope that was okay for you. I had loads of fun. So I hope that you did too. Thank you for watching. The link to the book, both books that I showed you, will be in the description if you are interested in getting a copy. Thank you very much for watching and happy colouring. everyone, welcome to a video flip through of this completed book. Now this is Matchstick Mouse, a springtime colouring book by Morgan O'Brien. I've actually got 2 copies of this book. My other copy I am working in as well, and I'm copying Morgan O'Brien's versions of the pictures. So for example, this one from the cover, in the other book I've done a copy, my sort of way of copying this, etc. And he's done some other ones on his Instagram which I'm still copying. And then once I run out, I will try to do the other pictures in his style, which will be quite interesting. This one, however, I did my way. Sorry for the lamp glare. We'll come in a bit closer. Actually, we'll open it up so that it's not blinding you, and we'll have a look through. I never fill this bit in, I don't know why. Now let's come in nice and close. You can see the detail in the picture. So this is our first one, which is our cute little hedgehog, and I did this one in Pablo pencils. I think although it's a springtime book, quite a few of the images to me look a bit autumnal, with the sort of nuts and leaves and the sort of brown tunnel. So I matched that in with the orange hat and kept to this sort of autumnal colour scheme. And it is autumn now, so maybe it works. But I did this one quite a while ago actually, and I tried to do some sort of furry stripes. Sometimes it looks like it's a bit scribbly, but that was the plan. Now I think this was one of the first ones I did in the book. Now I used my Chroma Flow pencils, which I actually haven't used for quite a long time. I really should. And I actually looked at a picture of a duckling, because although I knew it was sort of yellow and orangey for the beak and feet, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it look a little bit more interesting, so put a bit of darker brown on some of the furry parts and shadowing here. And I used my white gel pen a fair bit to put some shine on the hat and the beak and on the flowers and things. I don't know how easy it is to see, but it is there. Sometimes I think you can see it without seeing it. So that doesn't make any sense. In a sense, you get the overall impression, you can see the impact of it without actually noticing each tiny stroke. So this one was done with polycolour. You can see I liked these sort of graduating sky colour, but I did it my own way with a sort of sunrise type thing going on. Yeah, I really actually had and I used the front page a little bit for hints, because sometimes I wasn't quite sure what was going on in the picture. So that was quite useful. Sometimes I do find any author, so many illustrator, lots of them, sometimes I can't quite grasp what they're trying to draw. It's usually when things are overlapping or behind each other. Now I think this one might be meant to be a sort of Valentine's, although we're in February for Valentine's, which is a little early for springtime. So I wanted to make it look quite pink and pretty, but for some reason I did orange flowers up here. I don't really know why. I think I just wanted to make it look different, because it would be maybe a little bit odd if all the flowers matched, when this is obviously some sort of delivery. These is done with Arteza Expert. I find they work quite well in this book. Now this is an Amazon printed book, and I think it's an American one, I'm not sure. The paper is quite toothy. It does vary. Now Amazon paper not only varies between countries, so if you get a UK Amazon printed book it's different to a US one, but also the books do change. They don't seem to have a consistent paper. What that means is that you have to test it a bit. Now with a more toothy paper, it means it's more bumpy and rough. So when you put your pencil across it, you see white paper through. And sometimes that can work well for a picture, and sometimes it doesn't work so well. And the Arteza Experts, I find, do leave a fair bit of tooth as well. And I thought it worked on this particular image. It did what I wanted, so that was good. Now this one, I haven't written down what I used, but I actually think it might have been a tutorial. If it is, I'll put a little card at the top of this bit of the video to point to it. But you can always go into my channel and just search for Matchstick Mouse Spring, and you can find all the videos and tutorials and things. But again, a sort of sunrise, sunset type thing going on there. I find I like doing that sort of background, but when you've got a huge page, a double page spread, Johanna Basford, something like that, it's really daunting. But in a little space like this, it's really quite quick, because when I layer my sunset or sunrise, I do a bit of red, bit of orange, bit of yellow, blah blah, but I colour everything over the top of these bits. So I'd start with red, then I do red orange, then I do red orange yellow, then I might do red orange and a lighter yellow. So I'm going back and starting here every time, so it's really thick here and thin here, and that means that it takes a long time, but you know, it's worth it, I think. But I always wanted these birds to be blue when I did my flip through. Now this was done with Koh-i-Noor pencils, and yeah, I liked there's the polycolours again. Sorry, I was trying to work out what Koh-i-Noor. Yeah, polycolour. I wanted to make it look nice and warm in the background. Obviously this is quite an Easter themed picture with the hot cross buns, which those of you in the USA might not even know what they are, but they're a sort of cinnamon currant bun, and the cross on the top is made with a sort of flour and water paste, and it sort of represents Christ, I think, for Easter. You know, they are delicious. So yeah, in the sort of Eastery thing. Now this chef's hat would normally just be white, but I just wanted to put some colour in. It was quite a big area to leave white, so I left these white. I could have used some cream, but the polycolour doesn't have a cream in the set that I've got. I expect they do one, but there's that one. Again, with this one, I haven't written what pencils I used, but I quite enjoyed matching these colours up, because you've got the yellow feather, the yellow duster, which I would normally do, and the lemon. And so I sort of put a dash of yellow there as well, so it's sort of tied together a little bit. Probably should have made that yellow. It's quite nice to eat, to sort of balance the colours. And here I've done mouse in grey. I don't always do mouse in brown. I know that that's how Morgan O'Brien colours her, but I sometimes mix it up. I've got a lot of brown going on here, so I thought it would be different. And the same with this one, which is done in Arteza Premium pencils. I found this one tricky. I don't know how to colour a guinea pig. I looked at some pictures of them. They were all really complicated, and I just went and did it my own way, really. But because the guinea pig is brown, I did mouse in grey, so that mouse stood out more. So that's that one. And there's a lot of green. I did do a few dots of yellow Posca, but I don't know, it didn't jump out at me, speak to me. As I was colouring it, I felt that I didn't feel inspired, so it hasn't got a lot of different colours, sadly. Now, I've done the other version of this first in my other book, and it has a lovely pink water lily, and I really liked it. This is done with Polycolour. But I wanted to make this one different, so I decided to do the water lily yellow, because I think yellow water lilies are really pretty, but I'm not very good at colouring in yellow, so my lack of confidence shows, I think. But and it's not a very warm page, although because they're more lemony yellows and things. But there's quite a few different colours in the lily pads. It might not be easy to see. There's some browns or reds in there, as well as greens and yellows. And I tried to do a bit of a shadow here in the water, so you can see that Mouse's body is under the water. But I think maybe I should have done these little tadpoles in a brighter colour, although it wouldn't have been realistic. It doesn't really matter. Now this one is done with Arteza Expert pencils. Again, there's a lot of brown here with the mud of the cave and the bear, which is why I did Mouse in grey. Again, I wanted a bit of a contrast. I did all the leaves the same colour, and I'm thinking maybe it would have looked more interesting if they were all different colours. But on the other hand, bear is all big one colour, so maybe it would have just made bear look too plain. I don't really know. But now this one was done with my Yova pencils, and there's a lot of opportunity for colour in this, which was fun. I wasn't really sure what that was. I thought it might have just been a piece of paper. I didn't really know. But I like colouring the basket, particularly putting some dark in to give it some texture. And all the colours in the cushions and things like that. And I just think it's overall quite a fun page with Mouse, you know, doing this handstand and a little worm there as well. So that was good. Then we have this page. Again, I've done a sky. I'm sure I've turned over two. I have. So this was the bunnies, and I put a lot of different colours into bunnies because I wasn't really sure what colour they should be. This is Arteza Expert, and I tried to make some areas darker and lighter, but in the end I think they look like they're quite long fur, which was the idea, and I had quite fun doing a few different colours in the grass. And again, I haven't done Mouse's hand or foot, look at that, forgot those, but I should have done it when I did the ears and tail anyway. But it's such a cute picture, isn't it? So cute. Yeah, this one was done with Castle Arts botanical pencils. Again, early morning, I'm thinking let's get up early and dig up something for breakfast, or probably planting, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it was a good one. I find Castle Arts do work well on this paper. Now this one I did a long time ago. This was Polycolours again. I also find they work quite well on this paper. And I tried to make a bit of warmth around the lamp there, just to, you know, make it look like there's some shine and a nice warmth. And the stars are done in a metallic pen. So there we go. This was done with Castle Arts Monet. Now I wasn't really sure how to colour the calf, and I didn't want to leave lots of white because I left the clouds white. So on the bits that I decided will be light, I just put a few strands of grey to make it look like there's a bit of shadow in the fur. Yeah, and I did all the flowers the same. I think it might have been better if I'd done them differently, but I wanted them to sort of match. This was done with Castle Arts Gold. Now the sky is always hard when it's raining. What colour's the sky? Well, today it's pouring. I've already changed because I came in and I was soaked through. The sky is a sort of whitish grey, which is, I've done it a little bit dark here. But I coloured over the rain to make it look a little bit brighter maybe. You know, I mean, rain isn't blue, but the puddle's blue, the drops are blue. I just wanted a bit of colour in there somewhere. And I tried to leave a bit of shine on the shells of the snails. They were quite good to do. Now this one I did with Polycolour. I did this one before. I adore this picture. In the other book I did it with a pink background and it looked really nice, and copying Morgan O'Brien's version, but I wanted to do it differently, so I did it with a blue. I still think it looks okay. I haven't blended brilliantly, but you know, it was still nice to do. This one I did with Polycolours as well. I have a feeling I did this one as a video. It's quite an Easter bonnet one. I may have been when I did my flip through the book actually. And lots of colour in this one, and a nice dark background. I think Mouse looks very cute. This one again in Polycolour, we have our sunrise or set. Something went wrong here, and I've put some white pen over it and tried to cover it. I think the bush or a cloud should have been up there, and there was a black line and I ignored it, and then no, I coloured down here in red and then realised that shouldn't have been red, so I tried to cover it over. But yeah, and I did these leaves. They've got a bit of a red tip, which might look like it's reflecting that red. It might not, but you know, it was. And I love doing tortoise. I really enjoyed doing that particular page. This one a bit more rainy, again like today. So I was thinking, how can we make it brighter? You know, got a grey background, a sort of dreary puddle and ground. So I thought if we did owl blue and Mouse with a nice warm hat, it would just brighten the page a little bit. So that's what I did. And that's done with Castle Arts Seascape pencils. This one I did a long time ago. It's my sort of Easter picture. You can see the glitter pen. Now I'll tell you how I did the eggs in a minute, but this was done with Polycolours again. So we have our nice pink sky and a lot of sort of shadow on everything, I mean shine on everything. And what I did was these eggs I've got, are coloured in blue, 2 shades of blue, and then I put a glitter pen over the top, which is a see-through glitter pen, so it's just to add sparkle without colour. And then once that was dry, I put these white lines on top of the glitter, and it worked well. I was pleased with how that came out. It was a bit of an experiment. Now this was done with Artex pencils. We have the red sky going lighter this time. I thought it was about time I did one going the other way. And I always think purple goes really nicely with reds and yellows and oranges. So that's what why I did those all purple, and I feel the dark colour sort of silhouettes against. I think maybe this could have been a bit darker, but you know, that's okay. And the sort of pinky hat and the lovely cute blue bird. Just checking. Yeah, this was done with Castle Arts Botanical. Again, trying to get a little bit of 3D into that spade. I think that was quite good. I haven't done Mouse's nose, just noticed that. And sorry, I've got something in my eye and I can't see. That's better. And I thought these were probably seeds that are being planted, but I wasn't entirely sure what they were, to be honest. Tried to put a little bit of texture into the tree by putting a bit of shadow to make those look like they're little marks in the bark. So enjoyed that one. This one I used my Castle Arts, the full set. Obviously I didn't use the full set. I didn't use every pencil. That would be hard on a picture this small, but I had the choice. So they had lots of different greens I could play with. Just tried to make that look gold. I'm not sure how well I achieved that, you know. And I tried to make this look silver, but a bit out of practice, to be honest. So, but I had to go. Now with Little Lamb, this is done with Prismacolor because I wanted a cream. This lamb is actually coloured in a cream like that, so it's not just white, and if you look at the art you can see the slight difference in colour. I decided to keep all the flowers the same for consistency, but I'm wondering if it would have looked prettier with a mix of colours probably, but you know, it's done now. And lamb is cute, and I think lamb still looks cute, so it's good. This one was done with Castle Arts Pastel Tint. I wanted to have a lighter feel. Now it works, the pastel tints good, you know, I could get a bit of a brown from the, I think it's Apricot Twist, things like that. They are very, very pale, which obviously is the idea. So sometimes you have to layer them up quite a bit if you want it to look a little bit darker, or you can always add them in to other sets. You know, they worked well together with the Castle Arts Gold, for example, but I was quite pleased with how that came out. It just has a sort of gentle feel to it. And this was done with Prisma as well. I was just playing around with Prismas a little bit, see how well they worked on this paper. I love these sort of teal aquamarine type colours, so I was enjoying playing with those. And I just wanted Chick to be yellow. I'm sure chicks aren't all yellow, but you know, it's just fun. Was it a duckling? Who knows? Anyway, it's a bit plain with this sort of soil and stuff, but now this one I used Pablo pencils. I had done this one before as well in the other book. When you see my completed pages video at the end of the month, I'll show you the other book and what I did in there. And in the other book, copying Morgan O'Brien's, all this is like a stained glass window. So I wanted to do it really differently, so I did it quite plain. And I was quite happy with how it came out actually. I enjoy colouring cups and teapots. I don't know why, but yeah, there we go. And also was a pleasure to colour a cake as long as you can eat some, which I didn't. Never mind. Used my Artex pencils for this one. Again, it's one that I did of Morgan O'Brien's one. So I had an idea, you know, I knew then what colours the Irish flag were, or which I could have looked up anyway. I did look it up to check because I didn't want to get it around the wrong way because that would be embarrassing. But I did a lot, less orange in it than he did in his version. I like his version better. But, you know, I wanted to do my own thing, so that's what I did. And of course also the Artex pencils have got the smaller set, so there's not a big range of greens, so I had to be, you know, a bit clever with how I used them, and I was pleased. This one I used Arteza Expert. I wanted the pot to look really bright, but also not too mad, if you know what I mean. And I was careful with the colour, so this colour is this colour, and then this yellow from here, because she would have the colour that she was painting in her pot, so that's how I did it. And yeah, I enjoyed that one. This one I was a little more befuddled with, because we've got this big old plain wall in the background, and I was like, what do I do with that? So I just did it in a sort of brick colour, and did these in brick colour because I didn't want to do it grey like the floor. So yeah, it's a little bit like, not really sure what to do, but you know, I had a go and tried to make her look quite bright. So so they all stood, and these things, so it stood out a bit, so hopefully the wall just blends away and you don't really notice it. That's our Taser Expert. This one is done with polychromos, and there's Mouse having a meditate, and actually the polychromos went down really well. There's a few flaws in the paper where it didn't, but that happens in all books. But enjoyed thinking this was a sort of sunrise, and having a morning meditation session. That's what I was thinking with that one. Now this one, I used my Yova pencils. Now what I did with the shells is, can you see they're slightly shiny? What I did was I used this pan pastel, which is a pearl medium, and just used this. I don't know why it's in here, but it happens to be this sort of makeup applicator, to put it just on the shells, because I think shells can be like mother of pearly, quite shiny. So I just wanted to do that. So I was just playing. It was fun, and kept things quite similar colours to sort of tie it all together really. Now this one, I used my Giorgione pencils again with this big wall. I was like, is that sky? Don't think so. Is there a bush through there which I should have done green? I really wasn't, but we've got this line, and wasn't sure. I think I probably would have been better if I'd done it green, not red, but I was just playing anyway. But I enjoy colouring the grapes. I love grapes. Yum, had some for breakfast. And then I think this is the last one. There's some with Arteza Premium, but you can see there's some sparkle. Didn't want to show up. Maybe it will on the egg. Around the edge of all the patterning on the egg, there's sparkle. But again, it's very Eastery, isn't it, this one? And I wanted to make sure the paint on the brush and in the pots was the same colour as that on the egg, so that it worked, but also the egg is darker on the outside than the inside, to try and emphasise the sort of shape of it. I think that's the last one. Yes, it is. Well, thank you very much. And actually this is a UK edition. Interesting, but it's still fairly toothy. Yeah. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was okay for you. Yeah, I hope you have a really super day, and happy colouring.